This is an historic moment. We have in this past year made great progress in ending the long era of conflict and Cold War. We have before us the opportunity to forge for ourselves and for future generations a new world order, a world where the rule of law, not the law of the jungle, governs the conduct of nations. When we are successful, and we will be, we have a real chance at this new world order, an order in which a credible United Nations can use its peacekeeping role to fulfill the promise and vision of the UN's founders.
Nothing less than a new world order. This is the pledge of the world's most powerful leaders, representing 90% of the global economy. Thursday's G20 summit, they say, has changed the rules of the game.
People dying, but nowhere near the chaos. And now is a time when things are shifting. There's going to be a new world order out there, and we've got to lead it. We've got to unite the rest of the free world in doing it.
I appeared before the Congressional Committee to tell what I knew of activities which might lead to an attempt to set up a fascist dictatorship.
The potential for the disastrous rise of misplaced power exists and will persist.
The very word secrecy is repugnant in a free and open society. And we are, as a people, inherently and historically opposed to secret societies, to secret oaths, and to secret proceedings.
President Bush signed a formal agreement that will end the United States as we know it. And he took the step without approval from either the U.S. Congress or the people of the United States.
The secret organizations of the world power elite are no longer secret.
It's known as the Bilderberg Group. Could their objective be world domination?
Declaring war on the New World Order. TruthRadioShow.com. And welcome everybody to the Nightly News with Dan Bidondi right here on TruthRadioShow.com. Today is September 19th, 2022 edition. So we got Ukraine scientists claim UFOs are everywhere. We brought this up last week, but I want to touch up on this again. Gun control Chicago leads a bloody weekend. Another 59 people shot in Chicago this weekend. Did you hear about this on Fox? Did you hear about this on MSNBC, CNN? No, you didn't. You know what I mean? And this is normal on a weekend in Chicago. So we got other news to talk about and more. So we just had people from HBO. They were down here at the studio, and whole camera crew and everything is pretty cool. So they come out from London, France, out to Rhode here in the United States to interview me. And last month it was Denmark. Denmark media came out too. So we're, it's pretty cool that we're getting notoriety all over the world. You know what I mean? It's pretty awesome. So we need to keep and the thing is, they're interesting because free speech, you know what I mean, and people standing up against this totalitarianism, you know what I mean, so they come out to interview us, and so it's pretty awesome, man, it really is, to be able to do that. So I want to thank ShakeandWakeRadio.com and BeforeIt'sNews.com for carrying the show, so thank you guys over there. And if you missed Spiritual Warfare Friday, guys, oh man, this was one of our best shows yet. It was me and Brian Reese, the New Babylon, Resurrection of Nimrod. So this was an action-packed 3-hour show, 3.5 hours with the phone calls, but 3.5 hours of, eye-opening stuff, guys. Very awakening stuff, talking about the United States, and many other places in the world that with these obelisks and all that, all trying to hail in a new world order to resurrect Nimrod, the Antichrist. You know what I mean? So, what you think you knew about the Washington Monument and the Vatican and all that, you might want to watch the show. So that's right on our channel here. So, and both of our YouTube channels and our Rumble channel. So please check that out, guys. What an awesome show that was. It was one of my best shows, I think. It really was. And so anyway, let's just get into this news here. So we got some stuff going on out in Puerto Rico. Puerto Ricans board up windows and stockpile water as Tropical Storm Fiona bears down on an island. 20 inches of rain expected to topple buildings because cause landslides and power grid could buckle following devastation from Hurricane Maria. So Tropical Storm Fiona gained strength overnight as headed toward Puerto Rico. So I didn't actually check up. This was earlier. I got this, so I didn't actually check up what's going on. So hearts and prayers over to Puerto Rico. Puerto Rico, man, that poor... it's an island, literally. It's a country too, but part of the United States now. But yeah, that place gets battered all the time with hurricanes this time of year. So so hearts and prayers to the people of Puerto Rico too. So yeah, they're expecting like this big hurricane sort of thing, tropical storm. And which is it's like a hurricane. It's bad. It really is. So hoping that this thing passes by them. So anyway, strong earthquake hits southwest Taiwan, 146 people injured. So prayers out to people in Taiwan. And that's with the hurricane. Yeah, it's crazy. I mean, the earthquake here. That's the damage it caused on major highways. Yeah, like basically crippling the infrastructure. So it's going to take them a long time to fix all that. That's crazy, man. That's drone footage. But train carriages derailed, 4 rescued from collapsed buildings, tsunami warnings canceled, chip foundries unaffected, and more than 600 trapped by blocked mountain roads. And quake follows a 6.4 magnitude tremor on Saturday. So that's crazy, man. So all the major roadways are leveled at that. So it's going to cause a problem in the infrastructure. But yeah, that's crazy, man. So the thing is, like I say all the time, guys, you see this constantly. I mean, if you look at the seismic charts and the weather patterns, man, these earthquakes are common now. They're all over the world, literally. And I want to say hello to everybody out in the chat room here, up on YouTube. So if you're watching somewhere else, just log on to YouTube channel and take place in the live chat. What's up, Robert? What's going on, brother? Joyful, Lori, Lariva, Desi, and Ellis. Bill O'Connor, what's up, brother? Michael, Gwen, Lariva. Who else is here? Chat room moderator Valerie, thank you for moderating the chat. And Savvy and everybody else, RWG, and everybody else joining in the chat there. So thank you guys for doing that. So, yeah, crazy stuff going on, man. And so Governor Ron DeSantis from Florida pushes illegal immigrants deeper into the country, ships illegals to Martha's Vineyard. Now, you all heard this in the media. Martha's Vineyard is off the coast here of Rhode Island, Massachusetts. It's part of Massachusetts. It's a famous island. It's a very expensive island at that. It's where the Obamas go to vacation all the time. I think Obama's actually got a house on Martha's Vineyard. So basically, if you're living in a house, right, Martha's Vineyard in Nantucket, very expensive places. So the house you're living in, just say you paid $300,000 for it. If it was on Martha's Vineyard, the thing would be worth about $1 million. No joke. That's how popular these islands are. I used to work for Cape Air. It was an airline that used to provide service to the islands. But yeah, so anyway, Governor Ron DeSantis is pushing these illegal immigrants deeper into the country, ships illegals to Martha's Vineyard, and another Republican governor has decided to spend taxpayer dollars to ship in illegal immigrants deeper into the country. So here they are, right? They're saying, oh, well, they're spending taxpayers' dollars to ship illegals into the country, right? But yeah, these illegals are costing 10 times more taxpayers' dollars. And the thing is, why he chose Martha's Vineyard for? Because Martha's Vineyard, they made publications years ago say we are an immigrant sanctuary. We are a legal sanctuary. You know what I mean? Say, all right, if you're a legal immigrant sanctuary, we're going to ship them to you. So, and that's what he just did. And of course, Martha's Vineyard don't have the resources to provide for these people. So another Republican governor decided to spend taxpayers' dollars to ship illegal immigrants deeper into the country. But yeah, I like how they say that. Decided to spend taxpayer dollars. But yeah, illegal immigrants cost a lot more than just shipping somebody around the country. It was the governor of Ron DeSantis of Florida confirmed was responsible for sending 2 airplanes full of illegal immigrants to Martha's Vineyard in Massachusetts. And due to unexpected urgent humanitarian situation, the DCEMA, which is FEMA of Massachusetts, are opening emergency shelters tonight in Martha's Vineyard if you're willing to and able to volunteer at a clinical or non-clinical role, and looking for volunteers there. But it's funny, because Martha's Vineyard was saying, like, we are a legal sanctuary. So the governor of Florida says, all right, if you're a legal sanctuary, here you go. Because they were shipping them, because the thing is, they come in the country, right? And Biden was shipping them into Texas, into Florida, into, these Republican states. And it's like, well, you're shipping these people into our states, but you people claim to have these illegal sanctuary states, so guess what? We're going to ship them to you. And that's exactly what he did. It sucks because these poor people getting shipped around, but the thing is, they shouldn't even be allowed in the country anyway, unless you come here legally, you know what I mean? My grandparents on my father's side, they came here from Italy, you know what I mean? They had to go through Ellis Island and all this stuff and all through the proper protocols, and so shouldn't everybody else, you know what I mean? I went to school with people from all over the world, literally, you know what I mean? Vietnamese, Puerto Ricans, and whatever, and their parents came here legally. Their parents went through the works and to come here through the motions, and it's a smack in the face when you have people come here illegally, then they crap all over the country. That's a smack in the face to any immigrants that came here, you know what I mean? So my grandparents on my father's side, yes, they're immigrants from Italy, you know what I mean? And so it's a smack in the face to everybody that's came here that way, it really is. And you got Disturbance, trans high school shop teachers, generously prosthetic breast spark backlash. So this is a guy. So students posted images and videos of teachers shocking appearance. So this guy had the surgically, I don't know how the heck he did that. They're like a size quadruple Z, that breast. Okay, I don't know how they fake or I don't know, but anyway, a male Canadian high school teacher, woodshop teacher, reportedly going by the name of Kayla Lee Marks, is making headlines for wearing a massive prosthetic breast while teaching children. Yeah. I don't know if this has any sound here. So that's the woodshop teacher right there. That's a guy. She's a man. How could you... how? You know what I mean? Like, you walk into school like that, and the staff don't say nothing. Prosthetic boobs. Nipples hanging out and everything else. This is another video here. Woodshop teacher here in Canada. How could you wear that in front of kids like that? Yeah, homeschool your kids is right. That's for sure. This is crazy, man. And the students are posting these videos. The man walking around with saggy breasts that I don't know what the size they are, but I don't even want to know. Yes, Canada, how did you guess? So I don't like that because it doesn't speak for everybody in Canada. You know what I mean? Really don't. But yeah, this is crazy. Just going to work, ha ha ha. Look at that, nipples popping all right out. Look at that. You can see right through the shirt. And that's appropriate. Why isn't the school staff saying, hey, listen, you need to put a bra on or something? Yeah. I don't think you get a bra that big, but you can see like the full details of her breasts and nipples. His breasts. It's weird to say that. His breasts and nipples. Yeah, right in front of the kids. That's not appropriate, guys. Not at all. This is the progressive people here, the woke mafia. Freak show, that's what that is. Yeah, I mean, and when you involve the kids, like I say all the time, man, if you're a grown adult, whatever the case, and we do what you want, whatever, I'm not your judge, but when you're around kids like that, that's just horrible. And especially, there's no bra or nothing, nipples hanging out like that, that's disgusting. Anyway, moving on, guys, and I wanted to show you this, actually. screenshot I got here. I forgot to post it in my thing here. Hang on a second. This is the reason I'm bringing this up for, because of this here. So this was the picture here that associated with that article. Look at Harry here. You know, he's got his thumb tucked in his tie. And the reason why I'm bringing this up for, and yeah, look at him. Blatantly showing his Masonic membership. And every time you see the guy when his camera's around, he's got his hand in his coat or his shirt or something like that. That's showing his Masonic membership. Because nobody just does that. You know what I mean? Nobody just does that, especially with pictures and all that. He poses like this or something, you know what I mean? Or like this with his right hand to show his Masonic membership, you know what I mean? But, and also you can see every news channel today. I went to the gym this morning when I got out of work, and all over the TVs everywhere and the bikes and everything. This was on the Queen Elizabeth's funeral. So they were saying, well, Prince Harry and Meghan Markle attend the pre-funeral reception at Buckingham Palace, which they did. They did attend the funeral. That's them right there. So the Duke of Duchess, of Sussex reportedly initially received an invitation to the Queen's pre-funeral reception, but conflicting reports said they won't attend. So anyway, they were at the funeral, but who gives a crap anyway? You know what I mean? But the reason why I'm showing this for mainly because, yeah, this picture says it all right there. And again, every time you see this clown on TV, this guy's evil, guys. This guy's pure evil. And watch, it's going to be a matter of time before he manipulates his way to become king. I really believe that. Even though there's another person in line before him, but I think he's going to manipulate his way to become a king. This guy is pure evil. He really is. And if there's almost a candidate for the Antichrist, I think he'd be definitely one of them. But this guy, he openly shows his Masonic membership. Plain and simple. But all over the TV, you know what I mean? The sad thing is, you know, all over the TV they're showing the funeral of the Queen, right? And no matter what channel it is, news stations from all over the world, right? But how many police officers died in the line of duty in their funerals of today? How many firefighters died saving kids or, people in general in fires that funerals of today? How many of our troops died defending our country in their funerals of today? How many people who work 80 hours a week and left their family, they died and left their families with no income, basically, you know what I mean? And their children going to be struggling, real heroes who work 80 hours a week. How many of them, their funerals are today? But we got to shut the whole world down to push the Queen's funeral. Yeah, I'm not going to say I criticize the Queen anymore because she's paying her debts and dues to the Heavenly Father. All right, we know how the royal crown could be and how evil they are, the monarchy system, along with every other leader in the world, not just them. But, like the real heroes that died in their funerals of today, military men and everything, well, where's that media coverage? Oh, I'm sorry. Oh, yeah, we'll give you a little slot in a local newspaper. Where's that media coverage? Real heroes. People have had good effects on society, not coming up and missing kids, and I could go on forever with this. But yeah, they want to make the whole story, the whole world about the royalty. Now, last I knew in this country, 1776, we stopped paying patronage to the crown. Then again in 1812, when they tried to reinstate the revolution here. So yeah, last I knew, this country doesn't pay patronage to a queen. The only royalty we pay patronage to is Jesus Christ. That's it. That's my only king, plain and simple. So, yeah, but all the media in the world is covering this funeral. It was literally going on all day. You know what I mean? They had all these ceremonies and everything else. It's literally going on all day. It's probably still going on as we speak. So, possessed by the devil, drunk man falls asleep in the toilet cubicle while standing still and bends over backwards, and friends who find him think it's hilarious. So, this guy, I don't know, man. They said he was drunk, but he was missing. So they went to the bathroom. It's like, where the hell is this guy? So he's in the bathroom, bent over backwards. That's what he looked like. Let me see.
Top Dog was the first piece of acting material that I ever read that made me feel like.
All right, so I guess the server. Come on, man. All right, so that's what he looked like. Bent over backwards like he's demonically possessed. And a man who appears to be drunk is slumped over the toilet, bent over backwards, much amusement to his friends. Yeah, imagine walking in there seeing your friend like that. Yeah, it's not normal. I've been around sorry, guys. Been around a lot of drunk people, man, and that's not normal. Nobody does that. I used to be a bouncer at a club, and I've seen a lot of stuff, guys, and yeah, nobody does that. I think this guy is possessed, if you ask me. Could be wrong, but that's kind of crazy. Yeah, second guy is me. Mute this here. Darn ads. All right, so you get the point, guys. That's crazy, really is. So what do you guys in the chat room think? You think this guy's possessed, or you think this guy was just drunk? But again, I don't know anybody. Chat room question. So if you guys think this guy was drunk or possessed? But either way, if I walked in and seen it, I'd laugh. But then I'd pray over the person. But yeah, that's crazy. Who does that? Like nobody does that. And that's crazy. So switching gears, guys, we got Democrats call Indiana's near total abortion ban a death sentence. Does that make any sense to you? So Indiana passed a total abortion ban in the state of Indiana. Congratulations to Indiana, by the way. So Indianians are near total abortion ban went into effect on Thursday. Democrat lawmakers announced their dismay, referring to ban as the death sentence. Yes, try to figure this out for a minute. So they say banning abortions is a death sentence, right? You're saving babies' lives by banning abortion. How's this a death sentence? And I know where they're referring to. Because a woman could die from having a kid. Well, don't get pregnant. Don't go fooling around. Keep your legs closed, okay? And that was the bill, Senate Bill 1, contains only extremely narrow exceptions in which abortions may now be performed. Well, abortions for rape and incest capped at 10 weeks, only to be delivered in hospitals, and limited the procedure to medical emergencies. So who's a woman have lost a fundamental right to privacy in medical decisions with her near total abortion ban, which is extremely cruel, said the Representative Sue Arrington, the 34th District of Indiana. I'm old enough to remember before Roe versus Wade, and I know that the laws like this only ban safe legal abortion. Women are going to suffer, and some will die from this. Wow. Safe legal abortion? There's no such thing as a safe abortion. The baby gets killed then the woman has a lot of complications after that. Yeah, there's no and that's not your right. You know what I mean? And some people are gonna die from this. So all right, let's weigh this out here, right? Some women could die from pregnancies or whatever, but it's like a micro fraction compared to the amount of babies from aborting. You know how many thousands of babies, thousands a year, just in the state of Indiana, right? And any other state, right? I like to see that number, but it's in the thousands, okay? In 1 year, each state provides with abortions, right? So thousands and thousands of babies, and the way the balance with a couple women, 1 or 2 women maybe, that might die from birth. Yeah, I'll take this balance better. To save the lives of thousands of innocent children. Yeah, I would take that that better, And so good for state of Indiana, the banning abortions. Don't like it too bad, you know what I mean? Look at these whiny brats running around. Oh, I support abortion. I support body autonomy. Walking around. I want to kill kids. Yeah. Oh man, I can't wait for these people to meet the face of God. Yeah, try telling the Heavenly Father that, it's all right to kill kids. He's going to look at you and look, yeah. All right, it's all right to kill kids. Guess where you're going? And it's my right to send you to the lake of fire. Try to tell the Heavenly Father that. So Ukrainian astronomers claim UFOs are everywhere over Kyiv. And we talked about this last week here. Ukrainian astronomers say the skies over their war-torn country are crowded not only with Russian missiles, but a large number of UFOs. The surprising claims were outlined in a new research paper published by the main astronomical observatory in Ukraine's National Academy of Science. In the paper titled Unidentified Area Phenomenon, Observations of Events, claims that researchers have detected numerous UFOs from media observation stations in Kyiv in the village of Verkona, about 75 miles outside the capital. And we've seen them everywhere. We observe a significant number of objects whose nature is not clear, the authorities of the white paper. Papers write, Flight of a single group in squadrons of the ships were detected moving at speeds from 3 to 15 degrees per second. That's wow. You know how fast that is? I don't think even fighter jets could do that. So Ukrainian scientists involved in the study described two different types of UFOs, which they call cosmics and phantoms. So there's a squadron of them. I can see one or two. They could probably explain with things, but when you see a squad of them, especially moving at that rate of speed, you kidding me? 3 to 15 degrees per second. That's insane. And I'm not saying they can't be government aircraft. We don't know. They're top secret, but they are unidentified, and they more than likely could be extraterrestrial, what we call unclean spirits. And they always circle things like that. You know what I mean? Like a lot of times during war, over nuclear missile silos, the Pentagon's released this. They've declassified information that UFOs over nuclear. They shut down nuclear silos. It's no longer, science fiction. This is what's been declassified by the Pentagon. And according to the paper, cosmic is a luminous object that appears brighter than the background of the sky, while a phantom is a dark object with a completely black body that does not emit or absorb all radiation that's fallen into it. So numerous, okay, not just one or two. They said numerous, dozens and dozens of these things are appearing all over Ukraine. Well, it kind of makes sense because of the war going on. And the thing is, guys, you got to understand these principalities, they observe major things going on in the world. They control certain things from going on. And so many times, and it's coming out with the Pentagon with the nuclear stuff, that they shut down missile bases when missiles were going to be used. They even dismantled them in midair. Shooting a nuclear bomb off, they dismantled the nuclear bomb in midair. Yeah, I mean, this has been reported for decades. I remember on Coast to Coast, man, or people calling my show told me this stuff. They used to work for the government. I remember when I first started radio, man, they would, people calling to my show, say I used to work for the government. You don't have to believe me, and I interview some people. And they said, when I worked we shot off a missile, okay, and UFO dismantled it. In midair, you know what I mean? It's crazy because the principalities oversee what goes on in the world, you know what I mean? And also the angels too, you know what I mean? Because you got God's angels in the world that do interfere with things because they try to push things before their time, you know what I mean? The elite, and God puts a stop to it, you know what I mean? But yeah, if there was no divine intervention, guys, nukes would have fell a long time ago. We'd be in total nuclear winter right now. So yeah, they're reporting all these UFOs all over Ukraine. It's crazy, man. And yeah, that's awesome. Awesome but crazy, man. Because we know in Revelation chapter 16 that these things are going to present themselves to the world. That's what the Bible says. And it's funny because you won't learn about that in churches either. When the Bible does say that, Revelation 16 and many other parts, that they're coming back. They are coming back. They're going to make themselves very well known to the world. You know what I mean? And they're going to be announced by the world that we're not alone in the universe no more. And they're going to have this fake alien persona. So the Department of Defense equity chief under investigation while posting racist anti-white rants. So the Department of Defense diversity chief also wrote several books about Black Lives Matter and defunding the police. So you got this bloke over here, right, with this racist crap and also defunding the police. Now, granted, when it comes to defunding the police, I'm not for defunding the police, but I am for making police officers go through a civics class. I've always been for that, you know what I mean? And I think a police officer should go through a civics class, like a good month of training. You know what I mean? To learn the Constitution, the history of it, and the importance of it. So the thing is, if a person knows this stuff, right, how important these rights are, it's going to be less likely they're going to abuse their power and, abuse your rights, you know what I mean? Violate your rights. So it's less likely they're going to do that. So if you get these fresh guys out of college, right, that don't know any better, or not even college, they just hire somebody, right, that don't know any better, and, you know what I mean, I got friends of mine who do this audit report, Audit in America. They're viral on YouTube, man. They go around videotaping, and they go into government buildings and all that, and they make these people hold accountable to support the First Amendment, So they're from Audit in America. And all the time they get confronted by cops or officials that don't know the Constitution. Then the supervisor comes in, when they request a supervisor, the supervisor comes in and corrects the officer, say, yeah, the First Amendment protects their right to film. You know what I mean? And so a lot of people don't know that. But the police, I believe, if they were given comprehensive training of the, Bill of Rights and all that, I think they would be less likely they would violate them. You know what I mean? Because now they would know how important they are. You know what I mean? Especially if you hire somebody that's, doesn't, not really from this country. And I'm not saying there's nothing wrong with that. But they don't know anything about the Bill of Rights. They don't know, like what free speech is or anything like that, coming from the countries they come from. Or just people in general that don't know. You know what I mean? I used to do Man on the Streets for InfoWars, and I go out there in the streets, right, and I would have a set of questions, ask some dumb questions, like pop culture questions, who's the vice president, stuff like that, you know what I mean? Just ask them names, a few character Simpsons, and they would name them, name your football team, the players on it. They would easily do it, but when it came to questions like the Bill of Rights, 10 Commandments or anything like that, you know what I mean, they would falter. You know what I mean, because they didn't know this stuff. But if the police would know that stuff, it would be better. But this equity chief here, the Department of Defense of all places, right? He's under investigation after posting anti-white racist rants. And don't they do investigations? This guy wrote books about Black Lives Matter and defunding the police. And you're working for the Department of Defense? Makes no damn sense. So the Department of Defense has opened an investigation into its diversity chief after it was revealed she posted racist remarks about white people on social media. Kelsey Wing, the DOD's education activity chief of diversity, equity, and inclusion officer, described herself on Twitter as woke administrator. That right there, she should be fired. Yeah, that right there. Need somebody who respects the law and the Department of Defense and the Bill of Rights. This is her right here. She said she was exhausted at these white folks in professional development sessions. And she posted on Twitter, right? I'm so exhausted at these white folks and these PD sessions. This lady actually had a CAU audacity, okay, to say that black people can be racist too. Well, yeah, black people can be racist too. And there are racist black people. There's racist white people, there's racist Asians, there's racist everything. So she goes, they had the audacity to say black people could, because in her mind, there could be no black racists. This girl's a bloke, she really is. So I had to stop the session and give Karen the business. And we are not the majority, we don't have power. A thread asked for assistance. We don't have power. How are you at that top level in the Department of Defense then? So if this was true, right, why isn't a white person the equity developer? Why are you? If you don't have this power, right? How come we had a black president? How come we have a black person that runs the military? The highest general in the military now is a black person. Appointed by Trump, by the way. Yeah. So if black people had no power, how could we have a black vice president? How are you in your position? These people are just dumb. These progressive woke jokes. That's what they are. Woke blokes. So the DOD spokesperson, Commander Nicole Swingen, released a statement on the matter saying, "We are aware of news reports concerning the official of the DODEA. The office is under Secretary of Defense and Personnel and Readiness is reviewing this matter." So diversity, equality, and inclusion efforts. Yeah, nothing equity about this woman. This girl needs to be fired, okay? Plain and simple. And I'm not saying you can't have a black woman. Yeah, play any black woman you want. You know what I mean? It's nothing to do with the color, okay? It's just the person individually, like this witch, yeah. She should not be in this position. And for the record, lady, okay, yes, black people could be racist too. In fact, some black people are racist. White people could be racist, and some white people are racist. Some Asian people are racist. Racism comes in every country, every culture, every color, every agenda. You know, plain and simple. So get over yourself, lady. You know what I mean? And yeah, what is anti-racism? What is Black Lives Matter? And what does it mean to be defund the police? So this is what the woke children's books. Oh, children's books. Oh, all right. So she wrote these children's books. What it is to be anti-racism, which is racism. It's crazy, right? They say, what is to be anti-racist, right? By promoting racism. But what is Black Lives Matter? And another book she wrote, What Does It Mean to Defund the Police? That's a kid's book. Yeah, but we're not supposed to say nothing. Yeah, right. That's ridiculous. Really is. Oh man, it's crazy. I tell you, these people are whacked. They really are. So let's go to the quote of the day, brought to you by MidstateGuns.com. It's Rhode Island's largest indoor shooting range, located in Coventry, Rhode Island. MidstateGuns.com. And George Washington says that free people ought not only to be armed and disciplined, but they should have sufficient arms and ammunition to maintain a status of independence from anyone who might attempt to abuse them, which would include their own government. So, yeah, if you haven't caught on to it, if this is the lack of civics, learn the Constitution, the Bill of Rights, and the Federalist Papers and all that people don't understand. And if people caught on to this, man, then people are waking up, yeah. But, the government has no authority to overrule your individual God-given rights, inalienable rights, you know what I mean? That's why they call it inalienable God-given rights, because the government has no power to touch them. But this is the founding fathers saying, hey, listen, it's like, yeah, you need to maintain arms to maintain a status of independence. From anybody who abuses them, which would include your own government. Which, unfortunately, the government's actually abusing our rights as we speak. They're attacking free speech, gun rights, and everything else. Where, it's nuts, it really is. So people need to wake up and start taking action, stand to defend your rights, because if you don't do nothing, guys, your children will suffer the consequences of your compliance. I don't know who wrote that, but there's a good quote. Your children, from you complying to this nonsense and this tyranny, your children are going to suffer the consequences of your compliance. And that's not just for you people here in the United States. There's people in Canada, people in Denmark, people in France, Germany, Spain, wherever you are. Okay, where all over the world you are. Okay, this whole map in the background. So no matter what country you're from, all right, your children are going to suffer the consequences of your compliance to evil. Plain and simple. So what we're going to do now is go to a break, and we got an awesome video from Greg Reese of Infowars.com. FBI sues Alex Jones to destroy the First Amendment. And if you guys haven't been watching this, man, what a kangaroo court this is. And it's disgusting. Every day they're bringing up my videos. Every day they somehow bring me into the conversation. And the lawyers, I should sue the lawyer. I really should sue them, because they're sitting there using my name all the time. In the cases and my videos and all that, if everybody else is suing, I should, But yeah, all to go after the First Amendment. That's what it is, They go after the First Amendment because they know if they could shut Alex Jones down, they could shut us down, you down, and everybody else that even speaks out, against the official status quo. Regardless what you think about Sandy Hook, whatever, that's your opinion, that's your right to have an opinion. And that's what these people don't understand. You could have your opinion all you want. Now I'm going to say it right out too, man. They want to shut Alex Jones down because he was defaming the parents, right? That's what the case is about, right? But Alex Jones, he didn't cause anybody to die. He didn't cause anybody to get hurt. But yeah, with the mainstream media, every day they perpetuate lies. Remember the lies about weapons of mass destruction, babies dying in incubators, being killed by Saddam Hussein. None of that happened. That's led to thousands of our deaths of our troops, and even to this day, guys, decades later, we're still suffering effects of these unconstitutional laws. All awful lies from the mainstream media. Every day they say something that gets somebody killed. Spreading race wars that get people killed from it. Yeah, but no accountability for the mainstream media. But they want to sit there and badger Alex Jones because he had an opinion about Sandy Hook. And yeah, they play my videos because I was a reporter for Alex Jones for a while. And I was down in Connecticut covering some of the hearings that were going on. And they used my reports in these cases. You know what I mean? I was already at 2 depositions, and it's insane. You know what I mean? And I don't even know if they're going to try to sue me next. I mean, I don't have nothing for them to sue me for, but whatever. You know what I mean? It just is an attack on free speech. That's what it is. Plain and simple. And it's an attack on gun rights, because right after Sandy Hook, they went into effect with gun control over New England. And yeah, and it's just horrible, because more kids are going to die if you push gun control. That's plain and simple. And speaking of guns, guys, when we get back from the break, gun control, Chicago, 59 people dead this weekend in Chicago because of gun control. But yeah, they want to push gun control, right? Yeah. So we're going to talk about that and other stuff. So anyway, we'll be right back. And this is Greg Reese from Infowars.com. The FBI sues Alex Jones to destroy the First Amendment.
3 decades of deep research condensed into one book, The Enemy's Battle Plan to Take Down Humanity. This book is critical to stop their agenda, and it's now available.
FBI agent William Aldenberg, who served as John Durham's lead investigator, is suing Alex Jones because he is traumatized as a result of things said on the show by former guest of the show, Wolfgang Halbig.
Alex Jones and his company, these are very powerful people, and I'm not anybody. And so someone like me, you just can't defend yourself. You just have to, at some point you have to accept it.
He admits that Jones did nothing other than allow a platform for others to lawfully speak.
Halbig called the FBI. I didn't speak to him.
Okay. How many times did Jones call you?
He didn't call me, sir.
Did you ever see this photograph 289 on InfoWars?
I didn't know, sir.
Do you know whether he ever talked about you on InfoWars?
I don't know.
If Halbig appears as a guest on a talk show, does that make him affiliated with the talk show?
To me, it does.
Okay.
The judge, who is noticeably the most emotionally charged in the courtroom, is triggered when Jones's attorney, Norm Pattis, pursues the truth.
Who are the powerful people that Mr. Jones is affiliated?
He's had,
I'm sorry?
For example, I don't know if you know who a guy named Joe Rogan is. He's a podcaster, a guy named Joe Rogan.
Joe Rogan harassing you too?
No, not at all. No, I'm just saying, if I can answer the question.
If he can answer the question, instead he can cut off. He's not
I could
No, just 1 second, gentlemen. All right, why don't we... I now lost the question because I couldn't...
The question was Joe Rogan... I'll withdraw it and ask another.
Okay.
No, wait a second.
No, that's all right. So why don't we...
I guess he doesn't like the answer. No,
all right, so counsel, let's just...
Sir, who are the powerful people that Mr. Jones is affiliated with?
Well, that was asked and answered. That was Mr. Rogan. No, counsel, sidebar.
Pattis questions the political nature of the trial, how 15 people waited over 5 years until 2018 to file lawsuits on the same day and in the same office. But the judge gets noticeably upset because Pattis isn't playing along with their kangaroo court and forbids him from mentioning the name Clinton and others.
Well, we did the Hillary Clinton. Now we did the Megyn Kelly. Should we address what's coming next?
No.
Well, I think it might make sense.
Judge, I'm not responsible for giving my adversaries a preview of what's to come any more than apparently they were responsible for telling me what witnesses they were going to call today.
The plaintiff complains that Alex is going to try and defend himself and admits they have agreed to lie to the jury.
But he's injected this idea that Alex Jones was merely questioning when the jury is going to be instructed in the courts to determine that he intentionally inflicted emotional distress, that he intentionally lied, that he acted with malice.
These clowns actually thought that a man who has dedicated his entire life to freedom of speech would stay silent while they destroy him in court with lies meant to attack the First Amendment. And if they succeed, then any random federal agent can sue you into oblivion over hurt feelings from the internet. Reporting for InfoWars, this is Greg Reese.
If this is true, then our country is in a lot of trouble.
We would have these trips, these special trips.
But he said my daddy takes the bodies to the grocery store and he grinds them up and puts it in the hamburger. And nobody ever knows it.
How can kids 6, 8, 10 years old be describing rituals that come from a book like the Book of the Dead? It's hard to get your mind around people being capable of this kind of evil.
This is Dan Bidondi of TruthRadioShow.com. I am honored to offer my listeners a 1-month free subscription to nystv.org. Subscribers will have access to thousands of NYC TV videos from spiritual warfare to biblical and occultic topics, banned from YouTube videos, and much more. Subscribe today on nystv.org and use the promo code DANTheMan and receive your first month free. And welcome back. So I was watching the chatter in the chat room here. So before we get back to the news, people say Alex Jones got what he deserved in the courts and all that, and about God would have smoted the people in the courtroom, whatever. But I really believe that because Alex started going, having these New Agers on the show, giving them platforms, and he himself promoting a New Age website and everything else, agenda. And I really think that the father was teaching him a lesson, because if he was on, if he was on that straight path he was before, he wouldn't be in the court right now. God would have stopped that from happening and all that. And I really think this is punishment or a wake-up call to Alex Jones. Say, listen, knock it off. You know what I mean? Have Leos that gave me a 33rd degree Freemason, glorified one at that, working for him, being on the shows, quacks like David Icke, New Age gurus like him, being promoted on the show and all that, and him himself promoting like New Age agendas, New Age things and all that. And the website he had, the Awakening site, crazy stuff, man. So I think that's the father saying, hey, dude, because the thing is, all through history, God's put people in charge of certain things, or leaders, or whatever the case, and when they started going astray, he took kingdoms away from people. You know what I mean? Look what he did to Solomon when Solomon became corrupt. He stripped him of his kingdom. You know what I mean? And when David was going astray, he did stuff for David to wake up. You know what I mean? And all through history, he does it to us. You know what I mean? When we start going astray, God puts trials in our lives to wake us up. You know what I mean? To teach us lessons. So I truly believe that if Alex Jones came back, the straight and narrow path, God would, protect his platform and him. So I think that's part of the problem. You know what I mean? And them allowed to sue him like that, because you can't do that. You can't sue somebody because they voiced their opinions. And again, he didn't get nobody killed or nobody hurt from his opinion. But the mainstream media does every day, and there's no accountability. But I think this is because him going astray from the Lord, you know what I mean? Even though, yeah, he brings up Jesus a lot, but he's bringing up this New Age garbage, you know what I mean, which is not right, you know what I mean? And I try to get message to him, but it's like trying to get a hold of the president, you know, to get a hold of Alex Jones, man. But we need to pray for him, guys, because he does reach millions of people. And we pray that he gets back on the right foot, you know what I mean, back on that straight and narrow, I should say. And if he does, I mean, he could have very much effect. I mean, you know, granted, in the truth movement, he's been literally the leader of this whole truth movement in the media world, I should say, woken a lot of people up, and he still reaches millions of people, tens of millions of people a day, you know what I mean? So hundreds of millions collectively, you know. So we need to pray for people like that they get back in the straight and narrow path, you know. So I'm going to have more on the Sandy Hook stuff, and because like all the squat stuff going on right now, it's crazy. And again, the HBO media was just here, and they interviewed me about Sandy Hook, and we had the media from Denmark who was here last month interview me on the same, you know what I mean? So yeah, and I've been getting a lot of media requests too because of the Sandy Hook stuff, being that my name's being brought up constantly over there. So it's crazy, man. And you got the lawyer over there sitting there, oh, Darren Bidondi harassing officials. I wasn't harassing officials. The only two officials he talked about was Monty Frank was a lawyer. He's not an official. He's the lawyer, all right? And the only official I confronted was Chief Kehoe, who's the Newtown police chief. And I asked him, the first time I met those guys, I went up to them, went to shake their hands, say, how you doing? Addressed them as sir. Very kindly and pleasant, you know, polite. And they stonewalled me, like looked at me like I was like some jerk or something, you know what I mean? And, you know what I mean? And if they would answer my questions, whatever, and I asked them, like, and then I followed them, say, listen, it's like, why you stonewalling questions, you know? That's a whole thing for another time, but I pray for Alex Jones and that he gets out of this New Age crap. That's what it is. And but either way, guys, this is an attack on the First Amendment, because if they could shut him down, they're going to censor everybody. And you can look at that goofy FBI agent. Really? You sued him because you don't like what the show is about? All right, you know, guess what? CNN offended me. CNN offended me. You know, maybe I should sue CNN then. Maybe we all should. Let's sue the media, you know, because we get offended by their stuff. Unreal, man. This is a kangaroo court. That's exactly what it is. So anyway, let's go on to the news here. Ottawa police officer charged after donating $50 to the Freedom Convoy. This is in Canada. So Justin Trudeau's government has used anti-terrorism tactics to crack down on a peaceful protest movement, which it is, the whole trucker convoy, which demanded the end of Canadian strict, I can't say this on the, all right, but you get the point, the mandates. So as a police officer from Ottawa, he was charged with misconduct after allegedly donating $50 to the Canadian Freedom Convoy movement earlier this year. And a unanimously peaceful protest took place outside Canada's federal government building earlier this year. So there was no violence. There's a pure peaceful protest, right? Which is protected by free speech in Canada as well, right? And they end up canning this cop because he donated $50 toward it. I can't get to too many details because of YouTube, but you guys get the point. And just another day, cell phone video captures axe-wielding man losing his nerve at Bronx McDonald's. So this is a couple articles here about this violence going on all over the country, man. And it's always in the States with massive gun control, too, which is going to lead into the other stuff there. But insane criminal incident caught on video in lawless New York City. So they have bail reform. So basically, if you get caught with stuff in New York, stealing, committing violence, if they arrest you, right, and they bring you to jail, they process you, let you out with no bail. So minor altercation allegedly took place earlier between a suspect, Michael Palacios, 31 years old, of Bronx, New York, and 3 other individuals, with the brawl quickly turned into a rampage that was caught on video. So let's just get to the video.
Relax. It's fine. Relax. Nah, I ain't gonna front. He look like he about to get I said it.
Bro, please. Back up.
Oh. Nine. Oh.
Yo, tell me, gonna tell you. You better tell, boy. Yo. I'm not stopping. I got the grip. Oh, you knocked him out. Now who's the bitch?
Guys over there smashing things.
See, look, that's why I keep my knife on me all the time, man. Shit like this, you never know. I know, man.
That's what happens when you live in a lawless society, guys. And only the criminals have weapons. So this guy just goes down and wheels the match and then take it off. Didn't really, he didn't hit nobody, so thank God, or cut anybody with the axe. But man, yeah, just walking around like that, and in any other state, like a constitutional state, that guy would have been shot. A guy comes out with me with an axe, he's gonna get dropped, plain and simple. But that's how it is in a lawless state. You can't have a weapon. And in New York's bad. You can't carry a pocket knife in New York. A pocket knife. You get caught with a knife, you go to jail. There was a security guard. He was a contractor, and he did security part-time for extra money. The guy lived in New Jersey, and he traveled to New York to do a contractor job, right? And he had a security stuff in his car. He had a baton, you know what I mean? So I guess he got pulled over in New York, and the police officer seen the baton in the door. And he goes, "What's that?" He goes, "Oh, it's my security stuff. I'm a security guard, and I got a license for it, too, in New Jersey." "Oh, wait, you don't have a license in New York for that." So they arrested the guy for possession of a weapon, a baton, for his job. But yeah, when it comes to criminals like that, they'll harass you, they'll arrest you for the weapon, right? But the criminals, they'll let go. That's how it is in New York, man. And another video, he had Texas teen arrested after viral video shows him viciously assaulting a schoolmate. And the fight occurred in Westbrook High School, located in Beaumont, Texas. So this kid was arrested here.
Stop playing with me. Bitch. Bitch ass nigga.
Look. That's crazy. So the kid was arrested by the police department. So, but if this was New York, he would have been let go. They wouldn't even done nothing. So, a Texas high school student was reportedly arrested after a video went viral. One of the students violently assaulted another student in the bathroom. And the fight occurred in Westbrook High School, located in Beaumont, Texas, which is northeast of Houston. I don't know why they got to use color. Oh, a black kid is white. How about a boy did this to another boy? How's that sound? Why they got to bring up race? I hate that. You know what I mean? And the thing is, it shows you all media does this, guys. Why can't they, why are they got to point out it's a black kid and a white boy? And sometimes it's a white boy and a black kid. Why are they got to point that out? How about just to say two kids got into a fight? You know what I mean? Two boys got into a fight. What's wrong with that? All the sides of the media are guilty with this garbage. You know what I mean? And you don't need to point out there was a black kid and a white kid. Just two boys got into a fight in school. That's it. You know what I mean? At least it was one-on-one. I could see if somebody jumped in. And we have the thing, too, we don't see the whole video. All we see is this. We don't know if the other kid attacked him. You know what I mean? Again, this is where the video starts, right? We didn't see what led up to that. So nobody can make judgment of that, you know what I mean? And we don't know if that kid come up to him and, smacked him, or anything could happen, you know what I mean? So they base it off half-assed videos. I hate that, you know what I mean? Like they did here in Rhode Island at the Boston rally. When there was a guy running for office, he was assaulted, then the camera caught him defending himself, and it went viral to make it look like he was a perpetrator. We don't know who the perpetrator is, yeah? You know what I mean? So there's stuff like this, national file too. They, you know what I mean? Like, why are they going to perpetrate this stuff? How about two kids got into a fight? Nobody else got involved. It was just two kids fighting. That's it. That we could see. It's unreal, man. And that's why I like doing the media for, because I try to get my input to the people who do watch the show here. The show, yeah, this is race baiting. That's all it is. Because I'm saying, oh, the black kid got suspended or something, it's probably going to lead to riots at the school. So who knows? You know what I mean? They do that purposely. How about just two kids got into a fight? This happens every day across this country. In some school across this country. Two kids get into a fight. That's what I don't know how many fights I got into in school. That's just normal stuff for guys. Okay, it's like if you're a boy, you haven't got into a fight, whatever, then you must have been a real good person. You know what I mean? But whatever the case, but it's normal what happens in this country. And they're gonna make something out of it that's not. Again, I can see if they ganged up on him or anything, but we didn't see what led up to that. We don't know who started it. Who cares? You know what I mean? It's a fight between two guys in school. But I remember reporting this a couple weeks ago. But they got to make a big issue on the media about it because they're waiting a black kid. If it was two white kids, you would have never heard about it. If it was two black kids, you would have never heard about this. Because white and black, then they got to escalate this. You know what I mean? And it's the same thing when you see a white guy beating a black guy. Or an Asian guy beating a black guy or a white guy, and vice versa. You know what I mean? It's the same thing. They got to make a race issue about it. How about just two boys got to a fight, bottom line. End of story. So on to the gun news, guys. Smith & Wesson tells Wall Street its move to Tennessee is on track. So Smith & Wesson's out here in New England here in Massachusetts. So Smith & Wesson plans to start moving its front office to Tennessee around this time next year. And towards the beginning of next summer, we'll be starting to ramp up the operations in earnest to start a manufacturing and distribution product of the location. Mark Smith & Wesson, president, said CEO Thursday in a conference can follow the release disappointing financial results for the company. So because we're in a liberal state now, Massachusetts, I don't blame them for moving. But they said that operations and forging operations will remain in Springfield. So in Springfield, Massachusetts, that's where the company is. And if you haven't noticed already, those are people follow me. Smith & Wesson is my favorite manufacturer. I got a lot of Smith & Wesson guns, and I got my big beauty. It's a Smith & Wesson 500. It's a 50 caliber. It's a monster, man. But Smith & Wesson is my absolute favorite in firearms. It's like you get product. I mean, you pay for it, but you got quality products from Smith & Wesson. That's for sure. And I would love to take a tour of the place. I can't believe we never got to, but it's sad that they got to move on. It's kind of funny, not funny, but, you got Connecticut, the Constitution State, Massachusetts, and Rhode Island, where all liberty started from. It all started here. And Wednesday, I got my friend Dan coming on, Dan Gilmet. He's coming on the show Wednesday, the Rumble show. We're going to do talk about the revolution, little history show where the whole revolution started is right here from Rhode Island. We're going to talk about all that stuff. We're also going to interview a friend of ours who's running for governor, independent candidate Paul Rihanna Jr., running for the governor of Rhode Island. And he's been being stonewalled by the media man because they're promoting the GOP and the Democratic puppet candidates. It's crazy, man. But it's gonna be pretty interesting. It's a lot of history that people don't know. You know what I mean? We're gonna talk about that, and yeah, it pertains to the entire country. But it all started here in Rhode Island and Massachusetts and Connecticut. You know what I mean? So it's a shame that Smith & Wesson's gonna move out of the Commonwealth state. It really stinks. So Chicago, another bloody weekend. Shootings. 3-year-old girl among 63 people shot. 9 dead this weekend in Chicago, police say. And it was at least 5 minors injured. 5 kids injured and a 3-year-old. So a 3-year-old girl among 63 people shot, 9 fatally in the weekend of Chicago. So it's 63. Well, I think it was earlier. It was like 59, but it's total of 63 now. So 63 people shot in Chicago, and a girl was one of the at least 5 minors shot in Chicago over the weekend, and 20 minors are shot overall in the past week. 20 minors shot overall in the past week. It's like you get immune to it. It's a way of life, one person said. Well, yeah, when you have strict gun control where you can't carry a gun and defend yourselves, but the criminals can. And I don't know if you heard the news, guys, about Chicago. I think it's December or January. They're pushing a law that if somebody commits robbery, assault, second-degree murder, they're not going to charge you. They'll come and arrest you probably, and in some cases, and they'll just process you and let you go without no bail or nothing. Basically smack on the hand. And they're telling people if somebody's in your yard trespassing, we can't do nothing about it. So imagine that your grandparents just say they own a house in Chicago, right? And you got some clowns come in the house, right? Bust in the house, occupy the couch and all that stuff, and they can't do nothing. They can't defend themselves, so they call the police. Hey, listen, these people broke in the house, they won't leave. And the cops got to tell them, we can't do nothing. All you could do is come there and give them a ticket. So basically, you could go bust in somebody's house, occupy the house, and they're going to come here to the house, right? They'll come and go, here's the ticket, sir. Here you go. And the guy could stay there. You know what I mean? And the thing with Chicago, too, this is how it works, right? Now, if you, as a citizen, right, you, do something about it, you would be charged. It's insane. You know what I mean? Who the hell wants to live in Chicago, man? Lawless society. And you wonder why 63 people are getting shot a weekend. And it's a Chicago crime rate. Look at this, man. HeyJackass.com. They keep up with the Chicago stats from the Chicago crime statistics. 475 people in the year to date. So today's September 19th, 2022. Back to September 19th, 2021. 475 people killed in Chicago. 2,682 people shot. And you would think, right? You would think this would be nationwide news. Nope. Look at last week, right? 110 people shot last week. 14 people killed out of it. September, right? September 1st, and it's 19 days now, right? September 1st to September 19th, right? 44 people, that's more than the mass shooting. Shot, wounded at 210, and 254 people shot. In 19 days in Chicago, 19 days, 254 people shot. This makes any mass shooting look like a walk in the park. And you would think this would be all over CNN, Fox, and everything else. Nope, not even. But yeah, if a club gets shot up tomorrow, God forbid, and they kill 11 people, right, this will be major news all over the world, right? But yeah, let's not talk about Chicago, who prides himself on the strictest gun control in the country. Yeah, let's not talk about that. 2,682 people shot this year. This year. That's more than the military, guys. You literally got a better survival rate in Kuwait and Afghanistan than Chicago. You believe that? We don't even lose half that much in troops in these unconstitutional wars right now. But yeah, this is insane. It really is. And so, and New York is bad with that. I mean, like I said, you can't own a weapon in New York. Chicago the same way. Use the law-abiding citizen, right? So, the New York Historical Reenactments, the group that does reenactments for the Civil War and all that, and Revolution. So, they canceled their event over fears that the participants will be thrown in jail over strict gun laws. And it doesn't matter what the governor says, we could be prosecuted, a New York reenactment organizer says. So these are the guys who come out, I'm sure you've seen them in your state, right? They come out and do reenactments of a war that happened, the Civil War, the Revolution, whatever. They have muskets and all this stuff, and They're dressed colonial style like this, right? And they got the long swords and the long guns and all that, right? And they fire muskets, which they don't fire projectiles. They just fire the powder, right? But they're not going to do this in New York this year. So multiple historical reenactments in New York have been canceled. Multiple. Out of fear of participants could be thrown in jail for breaking the state's new gun laws. And 2 weeks ago, we started getting issues from the units out of state and states who were afraid if they came and brought weapons with them, muskets, they'd be charged with the felony. Reenactment organizer Harold Nicholson told CBS 6. And one reenactment in Montgomery County was canceled on Friday, and the Rogers Island Military Camp reenactment event was canceled as well. And the Rogers Island reenactment has been held in Fort Edward for the last 25 years, according to CBS 6. For the last 25 years, they've been doing these reenactments, but Democrat Governor Kathy Hochul signed a new gun policy into law earlier this year that banned people from carrying firearms at most hospitals, restaurants, transit systems, Times Square, parks, schools, theaters, and other deemed sensitive locations, which these, to her, are the sensitive locations. So just the fact that he has a sword or a musket, even though it's not firing no projectors out of it, they would get arrested. That's crazy, man. So the new law came in response to the U.S. Supreme Court ruling in June that the New York's regulation on obtaining concealed firearm carry permits is unconstitutional restrictive. And they're saying now, because we don't need guns in our street, we don't need people carrying guns in our subways, we don't need people carrying guns in our schools, we don't need people carrying guns in our places of worship, we don't need them carrying them to bars and restaurants because that only makes people feel less safe. Hochul, the governor, said. But yeah, it's okay for the criminals to do that. And these poor people can't even do a reenactment. Sickening. So they're like vicious attacking the Second Amendment. That's a regiment there, like they doing reenactments of certain wars. This looks like World War I era. By the telling the M1 carbine rifles they got. Yeah, just them carrying that gun, even part of it's a recreation thing, that they could get thrown in jail in New York now. Yeah, World War I right here. Military reenactors. Yeah. They could literally get thrown in jail for carrying that weapon. Even though it doesn't fire, but it might, I don't know, whatever the case, but it's just a reenactment. Sickening. And ATF ammunition stolen from shipping containers in North Carolina. So the ATF has warned that those responsible for the theft might try to sell ammunition to federal firearms license in the area. So there's been an issue with the ammunition being bought online. I buy ammunition online, but I guess a lot of the shipping companies will go, they... Now, here's the thing, too. The ATF, they're saying, they're concerned about this because somebody has been stealing the ammunition from shipping containers in North Carolina, right? So the federal officials say large amounts of ammunition was stolen recently from Freightline shipping containers in North Carolina. News outlets report that the U.S. Bureau of Alcohol, Tobacco, Firearms, it's the ATF, explosives and firearms dealers, a sizable amount of Winchester 9mm ammunition was taken from containers in Wilmington, Raleigh, North Carolina, and Durham. So the ATF warns that those responsible for the theft might try to sell the ammunition to firearms licensed areas, local, gun stores. But here's the thing too, right? The ATF and the FBI, they've been telling like FedEx and UPS and DHS and all, DHL, whatever, they've been trying to get the information of the people, in other words, like they got to submit the information of the customer. Violating the people's rights, literally, you know what I mean? They're doing this with the credit card companies now, and some credit cards ain't allowing you to buy guns and ammunition no more with the credit card. Because of the ATF is putting pressure on, like I said, the shipping companies and some of the companies that ship out stuff from anything to do with guns. They're like literally stealing the information of the customers. They're knocking at the doors. Oh, we see you bought 20 rounds of Smith & Wesson 500 ammo. Yeah, which is no law against that. Oh no, we just want to see if you still got it. Yeah, I got it. So what? And they use that for excuse to say, oh, we just want to see if you got your shipment in. And they physically want to say it. I'm like, yeah, I mean, you're like, no, screw. You know what I mean? You're not going to see nothing. But they're doing this so they could try to note down what you have in general. You know what I mean? So obviously, if you buy 9mm ammunition, you got some guns that take 9mm ammunition. That's a number of different guns besides handguns. But it's just an intrusion. That's all it is. And now they're concerned because people stealing ammunition. And that's, them doing their job. This is them doing their job. All right, this is notable. The ATF, this is what they're supposed to do. Because somebody stole ammunition and they're warning people that the stolen ammunition could be tried to assault. This is what the ATF is supposed to do. This is them actually doing their job. But them, stealing information from credit card companies and gun manufacturers and all that, yeah, that's not what they're supposed to do. So Senate Republicans demand credit card companies reverse decision to track gun store sales. So lawmakers told the credit card companies that Congress may have to intercede on behalf of the law-abiding American gun owners. Like I just said, because the feds want credit card companies to disclose. Because when you buy when I used my credit card to get a gun a couple of years ago, the credit card statement will show up that you went to Mid-State Guns or Heritage Guns, whatever, and whatever you bought. You know what I mean? It would say a firearm or something. And yeah, the ATF wants to butt into people's business. That's what it is. So, and they're putting a lot of pressure on the credit card companies. So the thing is, with credit card companies, people need to understand, they work, the thing is, they're supposed to service you. They have the privilege of giving you a credit card from that company, right? You can go to any company. There's thousands of companies that give out credit cards, right? So they can't sit there and dictate what you can and can't buy with their credit cards. If it's a legal retail store, they can't dictate that. If you walk into a gun store, right, and you legally buy a gun, it's none of their business. So they were tracking people and all that. And so the state Republicans are demanding that this is to be stopped, plain and simple. So Senate Republicans are urging major credit card companies to reverse the decision to categorize gun shop purchases separately. So Senator Roger Marshall in Kansas is leading a group of 12 GOP senators and demanding that the CEOs of Visa, MasterCard, and American Express scrap the plans to track gun store sales. You don't need to track them. Plain and simple. They used to be ring up as general merchandise. So if you go to a gun store, that's what it show up as general merchandise, not 9mm or whatever. So they, you don't need to know this stuff. And of course the feds use that against you, even though you do nothing wrong. So this video here, Klaus Schwab, and switching gears here, we're going to talk more about this coming up this week here. Klaus Schwab, they're saying that people will soon wear brain implants so the World Economic Forum can read their thoughts. And now, put two and two together, guys. Yeah, brain implants. The alarming video of Schwab's plan for humanitarian sheds further light on the transhumanist World Economic Forum. And recently surfaced in a video taken for the World Economic Forum shows the director Klaus Schwab boasting that within 10 years the people of the world will be wearing brain implants so the globalist World Economic Forum can measure your brain waves and read your thoughts. Let me see if the video's on here. So they talk about a video but short.
Advancing very fast. But can you imagine that in 10 years when we are sitting here, we have an implant in our brains, and I can immediately feel, because you all will have implants, and we measure your brain waves, and I can immediately tell you how the people react, or I can feel how the people react to your answers. Is it imaginable?
I think that is imaginable. I think I think you can imagine that. You can imagine, well, you're going to be sort of transplanted into the internet, so to speak, to live forever in a digital realm. You can imagine that you just in your biological incarnation are going to live to be some very long age.
Now, it's Klaus Schwab talk about that, guys. And if you remember Elon Musk, right, with his implants there. Let me see. It's called Neuralink. Yeah. And check this out, right? And if you think Elon Musk is such a good guy, right? Elon Musk, right? And Elon Musk is there's some YouTube video here, but talk about this. But Elon Musk is a big part of the World Economic Forum. He's promoted by the World Economic Forum for his transhumanist agenda. And he's been talking for a while, trying to push his Neuralink system that was founded back in 2016. The goal of developing a device that, after being implanted in the human brain, that would allow computers to translate personal thoughts into action, to read your thoughts. And this is his brain implant chip there. And yeah, it's not a coincidence that Klaus Schwab here is talking about the same thing. Because they're working together, guys. And his whole satellite link system and all that, the Skylink they have, it's all part of the same agenda. So they want to implant chips onto you, right? Then have the Starlink out there, all those satellites they're launching up to track you. And those satellites being launched every day, guys, it's not to bring internet to remote parts of the world for your benefit. It's for them to set up a scientific controlled dictatorship, a control grid. And Elon Musk is part of this, guys. And people think, oh, he's such a liberty person with the whole Twitter. No, he's not a liberty person, guys. None of these people are. He's loved by the World Economic Forum. You know what I mean? The World Economic Forum has constantly talked about him. They had him in the speeches. There he is right there. Standing there with Bill Gates and everybody else. He's a huge part of the World Economic Forum. You know what I mean? All these people are on the same wavelength, guys. And I hate to even say it, Trump too. Trump, Biden, and all of them. They're all part of this great reset agenda, and what they're trying to do is create mark of the beast. Exactly it is. And it's going to be, the mark of the beast is going to be an implant in your right hand or your forehead, plain and simple. And then that's how they're going to track you. They're going to know everything you do, where you go, what you buy, everything. And if you don't cooperate, they shut your chip off. You can't buy nothing, you can't sell nothing, you can't save nothing, like the Bible says. You couldn't even go to work. You couldn't even drive a car, start your car. That's why they're pushing the electric cars for. Because when, and it's going to be the Antichrist, by the way, to push the mark of the beast, nobody else. You know what I mean? So they're setting this whole thing up. And Klaus Schwab, Elon Musk, they're all part of this whole thing. Elon Musk is controlling the technology part of this. Because this stuff is not coming from Klaus Schwab, no. It's coming from Elon Musk and other people developing this technology. That right there, this guy, the bullhead guy, that's Klaus Schwab there. One of the top globalists in the world, him and George Soros, people like them, Warren Buffett, and at the time David Rockefeller before he died. Yeah, these are the top globalist guys out there, Bill Gates and all that. And yeah, that's what they're doing. Elon Musk is one of them. And yeah, they all work together, guys. And Elon Musk is setting up that whole Neuralink with the brain implants and also the Starlink. I mean, the satellites they're launching all the time, because what it does is it puts a whole world into a digital grid, and everywhere you go, you're tracked, literally down to the micrometer of where you're standing. You know what I mean? So that's what they're doing. You know what I mean? It's crazy, man. So I'm just looking at the chat here. What's up, guys in the chat room? Space Force, yeah. And I think this whole IRS increase here, the agents here, I think they're there to push the digital currency, because they're already talking about it now. They're trying to push the digital currency by December, if they're going to do it or not, but that's their goal. That's why even the Vatican took all their assets and put it back into their own bank, because they see something coming. You know what I mean? They're gonna put the clamps down on Bitcoin and all that, and they're gonna push the digital currency. The digital currency is just one of the components, one of the many components that go into eventually the mark of the beast. You know what I mean? And I have to emphasize that, because people think this, that, and the other thing is the mark of the beast, guys. No. The mark of the beast won't be here until the Antichrist is in power. Plain and simple. You know what I mean? And the mark, the physical mark will be a digital implant. It's not maybe, it could be. No, it is a digital implant. These people right here, these clowns right here, okay, these are the ones setting us up for the Antichrist. They're in charge of that. So they are setting up this whole control grid, and where every move you make will be tracked, plain and simple. So we're going to move to our biblical portion of the show here. Thank you guys for joining us for the new show. Just some verses here we like to go through. So this 1 John 5, 2, and 3 says, because he loves us, we are saved by grace. The 2 Thessalonians 2:16. And because we love him, we keep his commandments. Because I have to rack my head against the wall. And guys, I had the same sets here. If you watched the show last Wednesday, I apologize. I forgot to grab my flash drive because they update the new quotes and all that stuff for the shows. I forgot my flash drive, but these are the same verses we went over Wednesday, so I apologize. But these never get old because every day, I mean, you got Christians out there who think the 10 Commandments are no longer valid. Oh, we're only saved by grace. Well, yeah, we're saved by grace. But grace doesn't say the 10 Commandments are abolished. Grace doesn't say you have a free pass to transgress the commandments. No, it doesn't. You know what I mean? So the 10 Commandments, literally, you know what I mean? And like I said Wednesday, if you did the 10 Commandments, the new covenant abolishes the 10 Commandments, which it doesn't, because Jesus repeatedly says to follow the commandments of God. Obey his 2 great commandments and also follow the commandments of God. He says that repeatedly. Okay? So if you think the 10 Commandments are abolished, is it okay to have other gods before you know? Is it okay to commit idolatry? Is it okay to use the Lord's name in vain? Is it okay to not keep the Sabbath, even though a lot of Christians think it's Sunday, it's not Saturday? And is it okay to disobey, not honor your father and mother? Is it okay to murder? Is it okay to commit adultery now? Is it okay to steal? Is it okay to lie to people? Is it okay to covet? So if you could honestly say yes to any of these things, okay, you're a lunatic. And if you think any of these things are okay now under the new covenant, okay, you certainly do not know your Bible, and I'll tell you that to your face. I don't care how long you've been in the ministry for, you do not know the scripture. Don't care how many credentials you got. Don't care how many churches you spoke at. Don't care how many seminars you've been to. Don't care about any of that stuff. If you're going around preaching that the 10 Commandments are no longer law or 10 Commandments are no longer valid, you do not know what you're talking about. Don't care who you are. You know what I mean? The 10 Commandments are law, plain and simple. They apply into the old new covenant as well. Because Jesus simply said, you know what I mean? Those who teach men not to, those who disrespect the commandments, basically, and teach men to do so, yeah, you got to be called least in the kingdom of God. But if you honor the commandments and teach men to do so, you'll be called greatest in the kingdom of God. You know what I mean? And religiously, Jesus spoke about the commandments. Specified each one of them, too. Oh, this is the verse, yeah. Sorry, I botched it up. It's Matthew 5:19 says, whoever therefore shall break one of the least commandments, right, and shall teach men to do so, you're going to be called least in the kingdom of heaven. But whoever shall do these commandments and teach men the same shall be called great in the kingdom of heaven. So, please explain to me how the new covenant, how Jesus diminished the 10 Commandments, please. Then when you confront people on this, they'll say, well, that was before the cross, okay, before he got executed, because before he got crucified, right? But if that was the truth, then why in Revelation did he tell John when he was in the Spirit, in Revelation 14:12, to keep the commandments of God and the faith in Jesus Christ? Why would he say to keep the commandments of God 3 times in Revelation at that? Why would he say that? You know what I mean? And they said, which the Bible says, the commandments will be, not one jot tittle will be deleted from the law. The commandments, right? Until all is fulfilled. And they say, well, when Jesus was crucified and resurrected, it was all fulfilled. No, that's not what it says. I wish I had the verse here. It says, until heaven and earth pass away, then that's when it's fulfilled. In other words, when judgment comes and resurrection and all that, then God creates a new heaven and earth and all that. That's when it's fulfilled. It hasn't been fulfilled yet. Jesus died on the cross and resurrected. That's not what he's talking about. He said all fulfilled when heaven and earth pass away and the new heaven and earth are created. That's when it's all fulfilled. That's when we're going to go to away from the commandments, because we don't need them, because we're going to be in heaven. Evil's going to be all abolished, right? And all good people, all good is going to rule. So we don't need the 10 commandments, because you got to be pure. But until then, we get the 10 commandments and deal with it. You don't like it, too bad, you know what I mean? And that's the way it is. I'm going to tell you straight out. And if you're all around telling people the 10 commandments, you better repent. You better repent of that. I'll tell you that right now. Because the 10 commandments are not abolished, okay? The Puritans in this country, all right, for hundreds of years, so did the Quakers. If you knew anything about your history, right, they preached the 10 commandments. The 10 commandments were erected at every state capital in this country up to the late 1980s and the 1990s. That's when the atheist group started taking them out. The 10 commandments have always been law. They were law before they were the 10 commandments. The Sabbath day was established on creation. You know what I mean? And even before the 10 commandments were established, it was already against the law to commit adultery, murder, and all that. All that was already against the law. God just reiterated them as the 10 commandments, and no, they went only for the Jews. And he has a contradiction in today's Christian churches, right? Oh, those are only for the Jews. But later on, they'll say, we're grafted into God's Israel, right? Oh, yeah, we're grafted in. All right, so if we're grafted in, right? If we're grafted into God's Israel, right? Yeah, we are. Yeah, all right. So you agree with that, right? Yeah. But shouldn't you obey the 10 commandments? Oh, no, those are just for the Jews. Well, hold on. You just say we're grafted in. So therefore, we're a Jew ourselves spiritually, right? So therefore, you got to obey the commandments. So no matter how you slice it or dice it, you're not getting around it. And the Bible says we're supposed to emulate Messiah, right? He followed the commandments, right? He taught the commandments. Therefore, we follow and we teach the commandments, right? The disciples followed the commandments and taught the commandments. Therefore, we do that. Their followers followed the commandments and taught the commandments. We do that. The early church fathers followed the commandments and taught the commandments, right? The Puritans in this country for hundreds of years taught the commandments and followed them. The Quakers did as well. And they were all over the state capitals and all that. So I know because of modern day dispensationalism, because of John Nelson Darby in the late 1800s with his dispensationalist crap, convoluted all the religions out there today. Because they're so convoluted with this garbage that they don't know their butts from the elbows in the churches anymore. And God's spiritual Israel is not the country Israel. You know what I mean? And it's funny when the people in this in the faith kiss Israel's ass. Oh, we got to back them up. We got to give them anything they want. Give them billions of dollars of our money and everything else. No, that's not what the Bible says, guys. There's two different Israels. The world we have today, the country called Israel, is different from the spiritual Israel. God's Israel is not the country where Israel stands. It's a spiritual Israel. So we're not supposed to kiss the Zionist asses, and I'm going to put it like that blunt. That's not what we're supposed to do, okay? And that's a very evil controlled country. And in fact, when they established that country in 1948, they put that disgusting, nasty star on there. We did 2 full shows on this. It was crazy, man, off that one star. They said, oh, it's a star of David. Well, David never had a star. And the book of Amos talks about that. And he said it's the stars of your gods with the lowercase g, in other words, your fake gods. Moloch, Raphaim. Okay, that's what that star is. Okay, it's not the Star of David. That's the most evil talisman in all the occult. And in fact, most Jews were really pissed off that they put that on the flag instead of the menorah. They wanted the menorah on the flag. But the Zionists, and if you read about this in Revelation 2 and 3, chapter 2 and 3, those who profess to be Jews but they belong to the synagogue of Satan, that's who runs those country. The state of Israel, that's who runs it, the Zionists, okay? So they are not real Jews. And look at how many people out there conforming to this third temple crap. Oh, it's so blessed. Oh, my God. Christian churches all over the country, they're all up in arms like, yeah, they're building that third temple and all that. The Antichrist comes out of that temple. There's nothing to be excited about that. God's temple he talks about is us, okay? His people, the remnant, not a physical temple. And this is why the dispensationalism go around telling people, oh, we're going to be magically beamed up with the rapture crap. Before anything happens, we all heard it. Oh, don't worry about it. We're going to be beamed out of here. You know what I mean? Marty McFly's magic, rapture bus. No, that's not happening. They saying Jesus is going to come back for us before the Antichrist comes. That's what they teach, right? But the Bible teaches the other way around. 2 Thessalonians chapter 2, Matthew chapter 24, all say, the Antichrist comes first, then the real Christ. So what's going to happen when people think the real Christ is coming first, right? So this guy comes out of the third temple, right? Does all these miracles, which he's got to do, brings world peace, which he's probably most likely going to mostly do, right? He will mostly do. How many Christians out there going to believe this is the Messiah? Because he's doing all these, they're going to be deluded by all the wonderful things he's doing. They're fake, but yeah. So when the real Christ comes, they're not going to know the difference. And Jesus doesn't come in the temple, guys. Oh, well, yeah, you should see this. Hold on a second. This really, excuse my language again, but pissed me off to no end. I had the slides, like I said, I forgot my flash drive on the show, but man, this really burned my butt right here. Hold on a second, let me get to my... Yeah, there's a bloke out there wrote this book. Let me bring this up on the internet here. Hang on a second. Let me bring this up here. This really, wow, man, this really ticked me off here. So let me see. Google, so... Christ. Yeah, so there's a book out here. President Donald J. Trump, Son of Man. There's this book out there, right? All right, by this Mueller, Helgard Mueller, right? This clown, this bloke on. He wrote this book, right? And this is what the description is, right? Where the heck is it? In the commentary of the book, all right? So I didn't buy this. But in the commentary of the book, he states that the Bible says that there's two messiahs, okay? The Bible doesn't say that. The Son of Man and the Messiah, he thinks is two different people, right? Jesus referred to himself as the Son of Man and the Messiah and the Son of God and many other things, right? So he takes the Bible and completely half-asses it, right? And he wrote this book to say that Jesus is the Son of Man, the Messiah that Jesus talked about, right? He's the Christ that's coming back. Literally. And, there's Trump people out there who actually believe this garbage. That he's fulfilling prophecy and all that to be the Son of Man. That's not true. Hey, let me get to the article here, because this is going to really tick you off, man. It's Barnes & Noble. Hang on a second. Let me get to the Barnes & Noble site. Let's see. Barnes & Noble. Yeah, I'll just try to read this description here. There it is right there. All right, this is it here. So, he says, the true story of what took place, Donald J. Trump during, I'm not going to say that because of the, where is it? I'm sorry, one of the things I was reading the description of, no, it's not in the same book. Oh, man. Sorry, guys. It's just like, just trying to find it. There it is right there. This should be it. All right, yeah, all right. So this is this Helgard guy, right? This Helgard Mueller. I challenged him to a debate, by the way. So in this book, this is Yoel, right? He says, during the President Donald J. Trump, it became evident to me that the prophecies about the Son of Man predicted by Jesus in the Bible were a significant extent fulfilled by the hands of Mr. Trump. The Bible speaks about two different Christs or Messiahs. Jesus, the Son of God, is one, whereas the Son of Man is another. Now, I'm sure everybody here is laughing because most of you all that listen to my show is very well educated in the scriptures, right? Anybody, please show me in the scriptures where the Bible remotely talks about two messiahs. And again, he's saying the Bible speaks of two different Christs, okay, the messiahs. Jesus, the Son of Man, is one Christ, and the Son of Man is another. So he goes on to try to say that Donald Trump is that Son of Man, the Christ, right? Totally manipulates look, Jesus, the Son of God, King of the Jews, whereas the Son of Man is the King of Kings, who will be a world leader. Look at this garbage. It says the New Testament speaks about two kings. No, it doesn't. Jesus, the Son of God, the King of the Jews, right? Whereas the Son of Man is the King of Kings. The Son of Man and Jesus, the Son of God, is the same person. He's the King of Kings. He's the King of the Jews, the King of the world. But he tries to split it to two, and to try to say Trump is that King of Kings of the Son of Man. This is like pure blasphemy. That's what it is. So anyway, this book is out there. And if you ever see one of these guys at a yard sale, flea market, for $1 or something, buy the book and burn it, please. This is pure blasphemous. And I know there's a lot of people out there that support Trump. And if you remotely think this is true or not, you don't know the scriptures. And I hope and pray this guy accepts my debate, Helgard Mueller, because, yeah, anybody that knows the Bible knows darn well that there's no two different Christ. The Son of Man and Son of God is the same person. It's Jesus. He had many titles, many slogans, and it's the same person. It's ridiculous, really is. And this really ticked me off, man, when I seen it. So, they called Trump serious, like what? Yeah, Cyrus, yeah. Oh, yeah, they put him on the coin. It was the Trump coin there. Let me just show you that. Well, they did the same thing with Obama, too. You know what I mean? They tried to put him up in the Messiah there. Say Trump coin. They put him on a coin in Israel there with King Cyrus right there. With the third temple. The temple coin that's building right now, right? And Trump's a big pusher of the third temple. And that's why I truly believe that Trump's going to be reelected. I really believe that. And he's going to push us into this whole Zionist kingdom. Because remember, he's going to play the good guy. Remember that. You know what I mean? And right now, people are begging him, pleading that, wishing that he was back in office. Because, and I think it's all by design. I think they let Biden win, okay? I got to watch what I say right now. So, to do what he's doing, so Trump comes back in and saves the day. You know what I mean? And I think this is all part of a globalist agenda. I really do. So, you make your own decisions from there. But I don't know, man. But I really agree with David Carrico. I think Trump could be a very good candidate for the Antichrist. I know it's a bold statement, but he could be. Because remember, the world loves the Antichrist. Remember that. And regardless of what the media says, you know what I mean? Like, Trump right now, he could go anywhere. He would gather thousands of people. In other countries, you see the people praising Trump in other countries. The people. The politicians hate him, yeah. But he could go anywhere right now. Any city, even though the bluest states, and he could pack thousands of people in a stadium. And Joe Biden be next door in another stadium, and he'd be lucky to get 100 people. So you make your own determination. And so, yeah, I did vote for Trump, and I was giving the guy the benefit of the doubt, man. But I don't know, man. Him pushing all this Antichrist stuff, man. That's crazy, man, with his son-in-law, Jared Kushner, with the whole Israeli thing. So, I don't know. Yeah, the writing's on the wall. You're right, Lori. And thank you, Lori, and LJ, and Cookie Lady, Jesus Owns, Bill. Well, it's Desi and Valerie. Thank you for moderating the chat. Thank you, Jason T. What's up, brother? What's up, Tim? Woo! And everybody else watching, Lester and Joyful, and everybody else in the chat, thank you guys for participating in the chat. So, yeah, make your own conclusions, that's all. And, yeah, make your own conclusion we don't know for sure who the Antichrist is. He will be revealed, like in 2 Thessalonians chapter 2 says, he will be revealed. So we could guess, okay, we could estimate who may be the Antichrist and who are candidates for it. You know what I mean? It could be Prince Harry, you know what I mean? Who knows? He'd be a good candidate for that, you know what I mean? Bad candidate, I should say, but yeah. We don't know, you know what I mean? But he will be revealed like the Bible says, and for now we don't know, we don't have conclusive evidence who the Antichrist is. You know what I mean? But time will tell, and we're going to see. But the thing is, we'll always know, guys, that the real Christ, the real Messiah comes through the clouds. And it's not figurative, he literally comes through the clouds. And the stars are going to fall, like he says in Matthew 24. He's not coming from a temple, he's not coming from some building. He's not being born in the flesh again. He's not in the flesh no more. Okay, he's not walking the earth in the flesh no more. Okay, he's coming in the spirit through the clouds, plain and simple. And every eye's got to see it. Okay, so when this clown comes out of his third temple, which is going to mislead a lot of people, guys, that's the Antichrist right there. The Bible gives us all the information of where he's coming, how he's coming, and everything else, and bam, right there, what he's going to do. Because the real Christ comes in the spirit through the clouds of great glory. So that being said, guys, thank you for joining the show here. And if you like the show and the broadcast, you want to support our new show and our ministries, we got a PayPal, we got a Venmo, we got a CashApp. Help support this operation and all that good stuff. And so thank you guys for contributing toward this operation. And if you don't have money, no worries, because the best way to contribute to this operation is to pray for us, number one. And number two is like, share, and subscribe. And number three, if you got a couple of bucks, yeah, absolutely, we could definitely use it for our ministry and everything else. So, again, check out the show if you missed it. This was one of my best shows I think I've ever done. The New Babylon, Resurrection, and Nimrod. 3.5 hours of amazing stuff, man. Eye-awakening stuff. So me and Brian Reese. And this week we're going to be talking about Bigfoot. We're going to have a little fun this week. This Friday, on the Spiritual Warfare Friday, me and Brian's going to be talking about Bigfoot. Not just Bigfoot, too, but a lot of these mythological creatures that are still around today. And they're not mythological. They're legit, you know what I mean? So we're going to be bringing this stuff up, and we call them Nephilim creatures. That's what they are. They still exist to this day, because the Bible says there'll be Nephilim before and after the flood. And they're coming back, as the Bible says. You know what I mean? So we're going to get into that stuff, and it's going to be a pretty fun show. So I'm looking forward to that. So thank you guys. And please support our brothers and sisters over at NISC TV, the Remnant Restoration, the Cutting Edge, Midnight Ride, Pounders Live, Breaking Babylon, FOJCRadio, all these good shows up there. So please support them, guys, and all that good stuff. So, and also ShakeAwakeRadio.com and BeforeIt'sNews.com. So good stuff, man. So, like always, God bless, shalom. We'll see you Wednesday, 8 p.m. Eastern. We're going live at 8 p.m. this week here, Wednesday. We're going to have my buddy Daniel on. We're going to be talking about a lot of like historical stuff with giants. So we're going to bring up some giant stuff too. And we're going to interview a friend of ours who's running for governor of Rhode Island. So, all right, guys. So, like I say all the time, God bless, shalom, and you are the resistance. Declaring war on the New World Order. TruthRadioShow.com. Thank you for supporting TruthRadioShow.com in our continuous fight against the New World Order. If you want to donate and help contribute toward our daily news show and our spiritual warfare ministries, contribute any amount to the following links in the description. That's our PayPal, our Venmo, or our Cash App. Or just simply take out your camera and scan the code bars on the screen. And we thank you once again for help supporting the fight against the New World Order. And remember, you are the resistance. God bless. Defending liberty in the spirit of 1776.